BlogTalk Radio.
Hello, this is Suntara, and I welcome you all to this conversation about a Kundalini awakening experience with a Kundalini Awakened teacher, Chrism. This is our fifth BlogTalk radio presentation, and I am delighted to join you all in listening to Chrism's teaching for today, which continues with part 2 of the conversation about spiritual and psychic phenomena. I encourage those of you listening to the show to call the phone number and ask any questions that you like. The number is 347 934 0026. If you are listening to us on the archive show, you are indeed most welcome. And as always, if a question arises for you as you listen to this archive, then feel free to write it down and email it to Kundalini Awakening 111@gmail.com. That's Kundalini Awakening 111@gmail.com, and Chrism will address your question in next week's show. I have no questions from last week's show, and I feel people are waiting to see what will evolve from this second part of the conversation. For those listeners who appreciate the teachings on this show, and indeed the teachings are freely available on the other CAS1 sources, and would like to support the wonderful work that Chrism does, you can at this time send your contribution gift to Christopher Mitchell, Post Office Box 2663, Santa Rosa, California, 95405. That's Christopher Mitchell, Post Office Box 2663, Santa Rosa, California, 95405. If you would rather use a bank account and not the postal service, then if you contact the show's private email address, I will forward to you those bank details. Again, that email address is Kundalini Awakening Systems 111@gmail.com. So welcome again, everybody, and I will later on give out the other sources of CAS1 information that are available for you. I would like to say hello to Chrism. Hello, Chrism.
Hello, Amelia. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Hey, Amelia, can you pull that mic a little further away from your mouth? You're still breaking up with it.
Sure I can, yeah. One moment now. Is that better?
Well, you're not breaking up yet. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Chrism, and I'd like to welcome you to the part 2 of the conversation about spiritual and psychic phenomena. And I want to stipulate that this is spiritual and psychic phenomena associated with Kundalini activation or awakening. Last time I spent some of the, about maybe half the conversation about entities, and I'd like to continue a little bit there. The entities, just to recap a little bit, when the Kundalini comes to a person, they're opened up into a level of spirituality or a level of spiritual perception that allows them to have conscious, real-time interaction with non-physical spiritual consciousness. I use the word spiritual kind of loosely. I would prefer to say, say non-physical consciousness, so to speak. When we're open to this new perception, we're open to a new, to our conscious mind. We're open to a whole new dimension of conscious interaction. Not necessarily physical interaction, but certainly conscious interaction. And as you have this conscious interaction, the consciousness there that do not have a physical body, what I call a discarnate, which means without flesh. The discarnate consciousness will go out of its way being attracted to your Kundalini awakened status. it will go out of its way to try to make a contact with you. And I'm going to suggest that you do not do this. Do not do this. Okay. Many of these lower astral discarnates, they don't really have your best interests at heart. They pretty much have their own interests at heart, and levels of energetic harvesting or trying to control your life is a very, very common experience that people newly awakened into the higher energetic states that Kundalini brings can experience. This is something to be aware of. Most of you listening may not have a teacher, and so this is what a teacher would tell you if indeed you had a teacher and the teacher knew about the higher states and what the denizens of, say, the lower spiritual states would be. Succubi, incubi, hungry ghosts, things of that nature. These are what a person can experience within these states. I just want to state that the place where I'm living is kind of partly a rescue center for animals. So if you hear the birds in the background, well, they're just being birds and sounding off as birds do, as well as the dogs, and the turtles are kind of quiet. So just in case you hear that, I want you to know these are not discarnates. Definitely incarnate. So continuing with the discarnate understanding, you don't initiate communication. The discarnate groups, and you'll get groups of them sometimes, they will come to you and they will talk to you. You'll say your name. They'll try to get your attention in any way that they can. And I just want you to stay in the middle of the road, the middle path. Do not initiate communication of any way. Do not look at them. If you see them, do not look at them. Just turn your eyes away. Looking at them, the visual communication is a form of a permission for a contract of communication to be given. So do your best not to engage them in any way with conversation. Santara?
Yes, Chrism?
Am I coming through okay with this?
I don't have anybody here to check what it sounds like. John isn't here, so to me you sound fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
If anybody wants to call in, the number is 347-934-0026, and let us know if the sound quality is up to what we would like it to be. So with the discarnate activity or the entity activity, do not promote a communication. Many of these things, if you do, some fairly unpleasant experiences can be given. First of all, they will try to dominate your body. They will come into your body, whether or not you wanted to become a medium. Well, you just became a medium. Okay, they will pick your clothes out. They'll have you throw your old clothes away. They will rearrange the furniture in your house. They will do everything they can do to begin to live a life through your body, pushing your consciousness to the side. So really, 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 it's important not to initiate communications with the lower discarnate community. The higher discarnate communities won't do that to you. They won't try to dominate your body. They won't try to manipulate you. What they will do is they will give you specific teachings when you're ready to have them, and those are typically of a benevolent expression. So the higher discarnate activity can be beneficial to you. The lower discarnate activity, or the lower entity contact, can be not so beneficial. It's everything has its pro and its con, and even the the hurtful interactions teach you what you don't want to do. Okay, so even those lessons have a positive outcome if you survive them. So I really want to focus, I want you to focus on the discarnate scenario simply because that can really make you feel you're crazy when you're seeing things that other people don't see. That can make you feel very, very, very insecure about the competency of your consciousness. And I want you to know that you are not crazy. You are fine. You are healthy. You are having Kundalini. And Kundalini opens up a whole new dimension of interaction. And that dimension has its own forms of life, its own consciousness. And some of the first areas you'll run into are the lower astral areas or the lower spiritual areas. And these areas are dominated often by discarnate or low-level entities that have malevolent expressions. So just know that, be aware of that, and do what you can to not initiate a communication. I don't care if they're screaming at you, which they do, or cussing at you, which they do. Just ignore it as best you can. Ignore it. And what I would do is I would go into a mantra. Om Namah Shivaya Om. So that's Om Namah Shivaya Om. Or any other mantra that is positivity based. If you want to contact me and tell me a little bit about your situation, I can go ahead and assign a mantra to you. My contact email is K as in Kundalini, Fire for All. That's KFIREFORALL@yahoo.com. Feel free to drop me an email and let me know a little bit about your situation. So entities are part of the deal. Kriyas are also part of the deal, and I may have touched on those last time, but I'll do so again today. Spontaneous movements that resemble yoga postures will happen to a person with, in this stage of the Kundalini. So don't be surprised if you wake up at night, in the middle of the night, assuming a yoga posture. It's okay. It's fine. It is natural for the Kundalini. And I want to reiterate today that Kundalini is natural to your body. It is that natural expression, just like breathing or swallowing or your heartbeat. It is as natural as your heartbeat. And so your body is wired to have it. It is programmed to have Kundalini. And the Kundalini and the body know very well what is to be done. It's just your conscious ego mind that really doesn't have an idea and gets a bit upset over these new changes that are being kind of forced upon the ego mind. So you'll have a Kriya, and the Kriyas can come in shakes. You can have shaky Kriyas where your body is just shaking, almost looking like Alzheimer's or a palsy, which it isn't, but it resembles that. So once again, you don't need to run off to the MD, but if you want to, certainly feel free to run off to the MD or to the ER and tell them that your hands are shaking or your legs are shaking or, you have, the many different forms of body positioning that the Kundalini will put you into. But on the other hand, if you know you have Kundalini, there's no need. Nothing is wrong. The Kriya phenomena is there to infuse the body with the Kundalini, and the body's response to Kundalini is that automatic positioning. So it is absolutely natural and nothing for you to be concerned with. Some of the other symptoms that I'd like to talk with you about is weight loss. You may have some unexpected weight loss as the body begins its transformation and the rewiring of your body begins. you may have weight loss. A lot of it will be due to the fluctuations you'll have in eating and in the changes in your digestion rates. Okay, so don't worry about this. This is okay too. Yes, I know this may be of some concern. Like if you're a very, very thin person now, and oh my God, I'm losing more weight. I must have some sort of a disease. Well, you don't have a disease. You have Kundalini, and it is not a disease. And it knows your body better than you know your body. So just surrender to this new phenomena and allow yourself to be at peace with it. Now, some of the initial phenomena that will occur right after the huge bolt of energy that goes from the base of your spine and out the center of the top of your head, it's like electric ants or electric snakes are moving all over your body, and this is the energy of the Kundalini being detected by the hair follicles along the skin, and it's extremely tactile, and it's very, very pleasant. I want you to know this is very, very pleasant. It feels really good, and it feels so good that you'll want to encourage it. Naturally, your mind will go, oh my gosh, that feels so good. I want more of this. And so these fizzings and the zapping that goes on all over your body, and these electric vibrations, these are all natural to a person having that first spinal sweep, that first bolt of very, very strong conscious energy that's going up the spine and fountaining out the top of the head through the fontanelle, which is aptly named for this purpose. So understand that. Understand that you'll have this tactile experience. And this is pretty much across the board. These symptoms that I'm discussing today are pretty much shared symptoms for people that are having the Kundalini. So you'll have them at different times in your process. One person may have Kriyas while another person's having the entity experience. But eventually, you'll get a little taste or a large taste of many of these different phenomena. So for the Kriyas will typically take about 3 months to a year. Sometimes they can last for 8 years. And some of the Kriyas can be of an electrical origin. I mean, they can be so strong that this electrical blast will affect you at the base of the spine and literally throw you out of your chair. Yes, it's very dramatic, and it's very surprising, and it definitely wakes you up in the morning. I say this just to let you know that there are different kinds of phenomena that are energy-based, and the Kriya phenomena is, of course, energy-based. But sometimes that energy can be very, very, very strong. Very, very strong. Okay. Just like the little fizzes and the electric ants or snakes or whatever analogy you want to use with them. As they zip and zap over your body and through your hair follicles. Some of the more powerful pulses of energy that can come from the base of the spine will feel electric in origin, even though they're not. It is Kundalini, but it feels electric. And, it can toss you kind of across, out of your chair and in and around. And so you just want to be aware of this. Once again, this is natural. This is not unnatural. And it will last for as long as that person's individual equation requires that it lasts. Typically, these different stages of Kundalini phenomena are transient, meaning that they have a start point and an end point. The end point is more of a blend, though. I mean, the start point is pretty, it can start out slow or abruptly, but it's fairly different than anything that you've had before, and so your sensation of it should be sharp and very contrasting to the way your body had been before, these phenomena come. But after, as these phenomena continue, they can wear out a little bit, and then they just slowly blend into the next phase of your Kundalini awakening experience. So the electrical kriyas are, I call them electrical only because they feel that way. And also the fizzes and zapping that kind of sound and feel like an electrical origin as well, that course through your body and through your scalp and your hair and your skin, everywhere, all over your body. These little zappings and represent a rewiring of your energetic anatomy upon the physical anatomy. So the physical anatomy is being changed by the presence of the Kundalini, which is an expression of the energetic anatomy. So as these changes occur, one of those symptoms that will be due to the rewiring is the weight loss. These also, you may have energetic spasms in the major and minor organs. So literally your kidneys might start to vibrate. They might start to vibrate. You'll feel them move. You'll feel them spasm. It's okay. Nothing's wrong. And it's not painful. It's just like you feel it. You're like, whoa, what was that? Because you're not typically used to feeling your kidneys move around of their own volition. And so it comes as a surprise to a person as when they experience that. And the other aspect with the kidneys is, as you have the Kundalini, certainly in the beginning states, the kidneys will expand at least 1/3 of their normal size larger. So you will definitely begin to feel your kidneys at your belt line. You'll feel them expanding over your belt line. And yeah, it can feel a little, you can feel concerned because, people often will jump to the conclusion, oh my God, I'm getting a kidney stone. This is what I did. Oh my gosh, I'm getting a kidney stone. And that's such a painful event that you really want to go out of your way not to have one of those. And so I wouldn't blame you if you went to the medical industry and, told that MD, it's like, oh my gosh, I think I've got a kidney stone forming, and they'll want to image that. They'll want to take an image of it just to see if indeed that is, and they won't see one. Because you're not having a kidney stone form, you're having Kundalini. And Kundalini infuses the tissue in such a dense way. I mean, it really, really infuses every molecule of those kidneys. And so, you'll definitely feel the kidneys in a different way, but that will recede. But what organs that are sitting right on top of the kidneys, well, they're also going to get infused with Kundalini, and these are the adrenal glands. And so the adrenal glands will start to spasm. And as they spasm, they will produce more of the fight or flee hormone, adrenaline, into the bloodstream. And all of a sudden you become very, very paranoid, or you become very, very fearful, or you're very, very, you have a lot of anxiety for no reason whatsoever. You could be sitting and there and listening to the most calming strains of music, something that's very meditative, very slow, and all of a sudden you feel anxious and you have anxiety and fear and paranoia. And that's because of the adrenaline that's being pushed into your bloodstream by hyper-expressing adrenals due to the Kundalini. So once you know this, you can relax a little bit and just go, oh, okay, that's the Kundalini. And the thing that I'll ask you to do is to not drink any caffeine. Do not eat or drink any caffeine. Caffeine will hyper-express the adrenaline already being hyper-expressed by the Kundalini. And this really, really can put you over the top with anxiety and paranoia and fear. And you just don't need that when you're having the Kundalini. It's enough that you're having the Kundalini. You don't need to make things any stronger by having caffeine. And it certainly doesn't improve the experience. So don't have any caffeine. Stay well hydrated. Look at your electrolytes. If coconut water is great. Coconut milk is great. Watermelon juice is great. These things are the nutrients that the Kundalini awakening body requires. Stay well hydrated and keep your electrolyte balance intact. And even if you have to have Gatorade, which I can't, if you have nothing else that I mentioned, but you do have Gatorade is fairly well distributed. Even that would be better than nothing. Okay, it'll keep you balanced, and it'll help with the adrenal and the kidney functioning. Even though you're metabolizing red, blue, yellow, dye number, whatever. It's better than not having the needed electrolytes that you will need during that part of the Kundalini infusion. So really, really look at your hydration, look at your electrolyte levels, and don't have the caffeine. Don't have any of the hot spices either. Hot chili spices or some of the hot Japanese food spices, the yellow mustard, Chinese, food. None of that stuff. None of the hot chili spices that you have with Mexican food. And I know that you may have been partaking of this and that said, oh, it's not hot to me, I'm just fine with it. Well, it's not so with the Kundalini, and this can also precipitate some greater temperature issues that you may feel with regards to the Kundalini. In a way, I'm going to suggest that you go to very, very bland food. No, white flours, no industrialized white flours, no industrialized white sugars, no stimulants of any kind. Okay, be very, very pure with what you eat, and as raw as you can naturally get. Raw vegetables, raw fruits, things of that nature. And this goes for those who are trying to initiate a Kundalini response as well. Start going into the bland food diet. So, these are some of the more common things that will happen. The energetic spasms in the organs will also express throughout the body. The heart will spasm. When the heart spasms, it commonly goes into a tachycardic rate, which means very, very fast heartbeat, extremely fast, and enough to cause you concern. Once again, Kundalini will do this naturally. Your heart is wired and programmed to have this happen naturally. Nothing is wrong, but I do want to encourage you to go to the ER if you feel you need to have a stress test. If you feel that you're having a cardiac event, fine. You are having a cardiac event, but it's a Kundalini cardiac event, which is different. Kundalini will modulate your blood pressure. It'll make it go really high or really low into, what would be considered some of the dangerously low areas. But it's not dangerous for you because it's Kundalini that is doing this. And Kundalini, once again, knows you better than anybody else knows you, including yourself. So the energetic spasms will happen with the heart. Conversely, it can also go very, very, very low, extremely low heart rate. And they'll wonder how you're able to get up out of a chair. But once again, this is natural for a Kundalini cardiac event. So it's all good. It is all good. Your nostrils will dilate to an extremely wide. You'll never have thought that your nostrils could dilate so wide. And they will do that. They will do this spontaneously. You may have little spasms in and around your eyes, the ring muscles around your eyes. Your eyes are surrounded by ring muscles. And these ring muscles will spasm, and so it'll look like you have a tic for a little bit. And I know that can be disturbing because people, if you're in a job where people have to look at your face, they'll think something's wrong with you. But nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. This is just part of the infusion of the Kundalini. So the energetic spasms will affect your digestion. They will travel into the liver and into the kidneys and into the stomach, and of course the intestines will spasm. Any of the ductless organs will spasm and vibrate, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. Nothing wrong is happening. It's just extremely different, and the different, that constitutes an unknown, and so we can often go into fear over an unknown. And I want to suggest that you do not need to go into fear, because now, at least some of you know now, that it's the Kundalini. The Kundalini will go into the ovaries and into the vagina and into the testicles and the generative organs of the human being. In the males, the Kundalini will pull semen from the testicles automatically. So for the men, you need to just allow this to happen. It'll pull that generative fluid from the testicles straight back into the spine. Okay. For the women, it'll pull the fluids of generation from the reproductive organs straight into the spine. Okay. Not the egg so much. Not that, but everything else of a fluidic nature in the organs of reproduction in both men and women will be pulled into the spine and used by the Kundalini as it changes it into a plasma. And this energetic plasma is disseminated throughout the body, initiating and supporting the transformation of the body that's occurring. So, and again, in a way, you're being reborn by the Kundalini. You are being changed, literally, on a physical level, by the Kundalini, as the Kundalini uses combinations of what the body already has within itself, such as the fluids of generation or the fluids of reproductive generation. This will be used as part of a format of transformation for the human being. So don't be surprised if you feel that. Men, you will definitely feel this. It feels strange. And ladies, of course, the ovaries will be vibrating and moving and spasming as well. And so you will also feel this. It is nothing to be concerned with. You are not having a medical problem. But of course, if you wish to go in and have those areas looked at by an MD, I'm supportive of that. So these energetic spasms will go all over the place. One of the things that I really want you to do is to keep that tongue tip up behind your upper front teeth. This is a Taoist practice that really helps the person to stay connected with the upper and lower and the front and back levels of the energetic anatomy. Once again, you'll hear this from people. Such and such a teacher, he said that. And such a teacher, he said this. And this is from the Taoist. This is like thousands of years old. No current teacher within the last 100 years has ownership of any of these techniques. Kundalini owns these techniques. Okay, not the ego consciousness that like to feel that they own anything that they say. Pretty much everything I'm telling you is owned by the Kundalini. So I want you to know that, and I want you to know that your Kundalini is the most knowledgeable source of information that you can partake of. Now, these energetic spasms, you could call them minor kriyas for the different systems. The human body, the muscular system, of course, we've already discussed. But now, with the major and minor organs, the eyes, all of these things. But it also goes into the emotional body. So all of a sudden, oh my gosh, you're going to have these tremendous mood swings from absolute jubilation, joy, ecstasy, extreme love, to severe depression. Oh my gosh. So don't get tied up in the depression. It's too easy for us to do that in our society, the Western society. So be very, very clear. You'll have the highest of the highs, but as you migrate away from the highest of the highs, the lack of those qualities of bliss will cause you to go into the lowest of the lows, very, very low depression. And this is natural. This is the Kundalini broadening the dynamics of your emotional experience, broadening the horizon, broadening the experiential levels of your emotional body. And so it is just the way a person stretches their body for yoga. Well, this is emotional yoga that the Kundalini is bringing you. So don't be surprised if you have these really, really, really highs and low, low lows. And no, you are not becoming manic depressive. It's not anything like this. Don't feel that it's schizophrenic or bipolar or any of that stuff at all. And if you go to an MD, they'll typically give you that kind of a diagnosis. They don't have anything else. They don't have anything else. So, so, oh, wow, okay, that looks kind of like bipolarism. Well, let's just call it that. That's what they do when they leave the office after examining you. They go run to their books, and they look up the symptoms and what they correlate with, and they come back to you with their best guess. Okay. So with that in mind, Kundalini is not to be diagnosed as bipolarism or schizophrenia or any of the other psychological catch-all diagnoses, that they really don't know what's going on, but here's my best guess. So with that in mind, your emotional body is being rewired and reprogrammed at the same time as your physical body is being rewired, and as your the muscular system, the digestive system, all of the different systems of the body are being rewired, and often at the same time. Often you'll have these moments where everything is kind of being changed at the same time, and you just got to understand it and just kind of like, okay, I surrender to this, I surrender to this. And it will go much better for you. Much, much, much better for you. So, covered these energetic spasms, not so much in the spiritual body. The spiritual body will not necessarily have this, but the emotional body will, the physical body will, the mental body will. And the mental body aspects of these energetic spasms would be periods of extreme clarity, periods of extreme creativity, periods of extreme brilliance. And I have to use, you become a savant. Okay, you're a savant. You have these moments of incredible intellectual brilliance. You'll have things come to you. You'll have knowledge about subjects that you've never studied. You'll be able to speak languages that you've never studied. You'll come up with theories and different aspects of knowledge that are extreme in their brilliance, in their level of incredible intellectual prowess that really surpasses anything that you've had before. And then you'll have these experiences of extreme dullness where you'll just feel really dull. You'll just feel like, oh my God, where did the brilliance go? What happened? And this is also just the same as the emotional body, where you're feeling really, really good and then you're feeling really, really depressed. Well, with the mental body, you'll be feeling really, really, really smart, and you will be, and then you'll also be very, very, very dull. Very, very, very dull. I won't say ignorant, because you don't ever get that way so much. You just feel really slow and dull, and once again, that's the poles of the intellectual body being widened. That horizon will also be broadened. So once again, it's natural. You're not becoming stupid. Okay, you just and eventually these will all even out into a level of natural expression as your Kundalini equation matures within you. But see, these are some of the more surprising areas that you can have within the first 3 to 8 years. Let's see. Moving on into the ego body. Okay. Well, the ego is going to experience a lot of these things, and it's just going to go nuts with fear. And I want you to understand that you don't need to be afraid of any of this. This is natural. Your body can have this. Okay. The ego will spasm, and your psychology will in many ways fracture. You'll have to reevaluate what you have thought life was about, what you have thought your life goals were, what you have thought that your priorities in your life were, and the ego will struggle with this. And I just want you to take control of your ego. Do not let its fear corrupt your Kundalini awakening experience, and it will try to corrupt it. Every new thing that comes along, whether it's an energetic spasm in the body or a kriya or anything, it's going to go into fear. Your ego is what will take you over to the ER. Oh my God, something's wrong. So I want you to realize that your ego body is really going to spasm, and it's going to cause you to experience levels of fear. And this is natural. The fear is also natural. Fear of the unknown is a natural quality. But I want you to overcome it. And I want you to overcome your fears. Do not let them make your choices. Do not let fear make your choices for you. If you have been meditating, if you have been doing yoga, if you've been doing Kundalini yoga, if you've been doing Bikram's yoga, if you've been doing Hatha yoga, if you've been studying a martial art, if you've been, praying devoutly, if you have been doing any of these things, and in some cases if you haven't been doing any of them, Kundalini just comes to you, well, this is Kundalini, and this is natural, and you are okay. You are not unhealthy. You are very healthy. Healthier than you've probably ever been, whether or not it feels that way. This is a great jump. This is a great, great step in your evolution as a human being. You're becoming your body is literally being changed into the kind of a body that comes with enlightenment. And so I want you to understand that, and I want you to understand that the whole enlightenment equation is a multiverse of all of its own. And what it will do is it will take your Kundalini equation and apply its equation on top of that. And the body functions, the mental functions, the emotional functions, the ego functions will all be changed in order to partake of the levels of enlightenment that will be coming for you. Okay? So these are a little bit of the some of the other symptoms that you can have. Your eye color can change. If you have blue eyes, you might just start having green eyes. This is not uncommon. Your hearing can really, really expand tremendously. You can hear a fly landing on a picnic table, 50 feet away. It can be very, very disturbing because there is so much more sound out there than our hearing normally really records. And so, wow, to hear such things is amazing. You can hear bubbles coming up in a lake, or it goes beyond my ability to describe. Your hearing can become extreme, and then once again, it will disappear a little bit. So as the symptom for the ears expands and decreases, your ears will also feel like there's a pressure change occurring in them. You may feel soft, ticklish kind of movements going into the ear canal and into the brain. It will feel like very, very thin fingers are going into your ears and all the way into your ears, and you'll feel pockets of pressure develop within the brain space and the ear space specifically. And this is, once again, part of a Kundalini manifestation. I remember I felt like there was a little bit of welding, little soft welding going on inside my brain, just to tell you what a hard case I was. And this kind of disturbed me, to be honest with you. Once again, my ego, this part of my awakening, would look at that and go, oh, this is just not right. Nobody should be welding inside my head. I don't care how soft and gentle it is. So, once again, you want to get a hold of your ego a bit on this. These very, very, very thin fingers of energy will come into your ear, and as I said, it's slightly ticklish, and you can rub your ear, and it'll stop for a little bit, then it'll just come right back in. So I just have to let you know that it is persistent in its applications to the ears, and this will happen for a while. Don't be upset about it. It will happen for a while. Just kind of get used to it. You will feel this pressure difference, over either ears or one ear. It doesn't necessarily happen to both ears at the same time. One day it'll be the left ear, next week it'll be the other ear, and then it'll be different areas of the inner cranium where you will feel these pockets of a different pressure. It's not painful. It's just noticeable. It's noticeable. Many of you, as you come into the Kundalini, will feel the golden helmet effect, which basically follows the hairline. Whether or not you still have a hairline, men, it doesn't matter. It will still follow that hairline. This is something that is male or female both. You will feel like you're wearing a helmet or a hat or a bowl over your head all the time. You'll just feel this. And this is a natural thing. This is not unnatural at all. It is part of the Kundalini equation and not anything to be surprised. If anything, it's something to be thankful for, because it's giving you a very explicit understanding that you are on this path. Okay? And you'll feel it all the way across the nape of your neck. It'll come up around your ears, and it'll, for men, it'll follow your sideburns. Not often will it follow the beard line, but it'll definitely follow. It'll go up from, like, say, the ears, and then on up across the forehead and around the hairline that way. So just be advised of that. It's okay. It's natural. Nothing is wrong. It's called the golden helmet. You can look that up. So your hearing acuteness will really increase, but so will your visual acuteness really, really increase. You'll be able to kind of like have this weird zoom lens type of thing where you can zoom in on a bug or a dewdrop on a leaf, or be able to sometimes go into things with your vision. Interesting. It's like a medical viewing in a way where what happens for me is the skin of a person's body just disappears, and the system or the injury or the disease that I'm looking at is the thing that comes up, and yet I'm able to see surrounding tissue only to the degree that it helps me give service to that person. So your vision increases, and you'll feel a like a third eye mechanism kick in. And so you no longer have two eyes, you have three eyes, but the third eye is a spiritual viewing eye, and it doesn't have the same kind of limitations that the physical eyes have. And yet, so what it will do is it will lend itself to the visual acuity, and all of a sudden your visual eyes will no longer have the same limitation. And moving into the eyes area in the third eye, you'll often feel an inside-outside pressure or bump occurring at your third eye, almost like a small mound of energy is bubbling up from where your third eye is. And this is a tactile feeling. You will feel this. You won't be able to really control it for any of these things, to be honest with you. All of these, most of these phenomena is in the control of the Kundalini, not the human ego consciousness, just so you know. So remember to surrender to all of this. As the third eye is being stimulated by the Kundalini, this bump will occur, and it's a blessing. It's a real blessing. It doesn't hurt. Sometimes it feels quite strong, like there's a horn, like you're growing a unicorn horn, but you're not. It's the stimulation and the beginning of the opening of the third eye region, and once again, the third eye will lend itself in equal measure to the physical visual eyes, and this will begin to give you a much broader appreciation of the dimensional blend of the visual world. So, for instance, when I say dimensional blend, is you can see entities. You can make your vision can go inside of an object that hasn't been opened up to you. You can go. How do I say this? You can visually bilocate in ways that are far more than just bilocate, which indicates two. You can bilocate to 100 different angles and directions, and you can go inside a room. Some of these are really hard to put into words. You can you can see molecules. You can see the way the physical universe is connected. Not just see it, but feel it and know it, and it just goes beyond words in some way. But this isn't all the time. if this was going to happen to you all the time, you wouldn't really be able to live in society, as you must do. Part of the reason you're here is to have this while living in this Western society. And so blinders are given to you, not blinders. Isn't the word. Filters. Filters are given to you so you can drive a car without seeing any of the remnant dead people that are standing or lying in the roadway. Okay? That kind of should give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. To be able to see discarnate consciousness. Not every discarnate consciousness is, it's so diverse in its application and its residual effects. So, for instance, a person is killed on the highway. You may still see the imprint of that body laying in pieces on the highway, and this would cause you some great distress, and could cause you to have your own accident. And so, filters are given for you, and the Kundalini allows you to have it only when it feels that it is necessary for you. And once again, it is this higher power, this higher spiritual divine consciousness that is coming through you and helping you and guiding you. And so with the visual matrix of 3 organs of visual intake, the third eye lends itself to the physical visual eyes, and this is what allows you to see in very, very, very different ways. But vision is a very complex thing because it also constitutes communication. On a spiritual level, it also constitutes permission and contractual agreements and things of that nature. Just by observing something, your Kundalini will ride that vision. So what I'm saying is vision has weight. It has weight, and it is a physical force and a spiritual force at the same time. And so the Kundalini will ride the beam of your cogency that you have with your vision. So if you're looking at a tree, well, you're looking at the tree, and your brain is formulating what you know of as a tree, and that formulation itself, that process itself, is being directed at the tree. Like if you watch any of the science fiction movies, they'll have a sensor scan. Oh, Captain Kirk, we're being scanned. Well, that's what you're doing when you look at that tree. You're scanning the tree, and the tree will feel that scan, or the entity will feel that scan, or the other person will feel that scan. This is why when you're spying on a person, and this in the West, this is typically described as when I don't know if I should use that analogy. Well, yeah, when you spy upon somebody and their back is turned to you, they'll feel like there's somebody looking at them, and they'll turn around and they'll go, "What? Who's there?" They feel the scan of your vision. They feel the scan of your consciousness that's writing the vision, and in the Kundalini case, they'll feel the level of Kundalini on that vision. And so will the animals, and so will the plants, and so will the insects and the fish. All life respond to Kundalini, so therefore the life that you look at with your eyes will flow with Kundalini, and they will know. They will know, and a contract is made. So the eyes, you get a lot of different phenomena with your eyes, and you'll process a lot of different phenomena with your eyes, your physical eyes and your third eye. When I say eyes in the Kundalini context, I'm talking about the third eye, the top of the pyramid, and the 2 eyes, which form the base of the pyramid on either side. So that will occur. Your sense of taste will come and go, just like the hearing and just like the mood swings that will come with the body. So don't worry so much about that. Do remember to keep the tongue up, tongue tip. Let me go into the tongue a little bit here. The tip of the tongue, there are 5 that I know of. There are 5, probably more, tongue positions that can occur besides including, I should say, the tongue behind the upper front teeth. So you'll notice that if you go into your soft palate right now and you explore that with your tongue, you'll notice there's the fleshy mound right behind your upper front teeth, which is the typical place where I'll suggest that you put your tongue tip. And then there's the as you slide the tongue back and it'll dip in to that soft palate, and there's kind of like an indented area, or an area that goes upwards more towards the top of your head. That is another position. Well, you have different positions for your tongue tip to occupy, all going all the way back to Kachari, where the Kachari mudra or lingual mudra, tongue mudra, will go back into the nasal, the upper nasal areas, and that Kachari is basically for partaking of brain dews as they drip off of the pineal gland or pineal sweat, and a lot of people think that's a big deal, and I guess just for them it is. You don't have to partake of that. It's not bad. It's great. And as it touches the tip of your tongue tip, expansiveness will occur. But I don't really suggest people try to go back there. Now the Kundalini may force your tongue back and up into Kachari, and that's a different deal. With that, then you must surrender to the Kundalini. But to try to do it consciously, or for those who are trying to have Kundalini, to stick their tongue back up into Kachari, thinking that's going to bring them Kundalini, no. That's more a natural Kundalini response than it is something that you do to try to produce Kundalini in the body. Okay? So there are many tongue positions that occupy the upper palate of the human being. But the first one is really the tongue tip behind the upper front teeth. Okay? And what happens if you don't do that and you have Kundalini is you'll get a tongue tip burn. And this is a real thing. I've had this, all of these things I've had happen. The tip of your tongue will burn. It's like it'll be similar to what it would feel like if you put your tongue on an ice tray out of the freezer. That kind of a burn. And it will last for a while too, by the way. So I really, and it's not, that one can be painful. I found that out the hard way. That one can be painful. And so I will suggest that everybody put the tongue tip up behind the upper front teeth. Okay, just so you know about that. And I already talked to you about the nostrils. I also want to say with the nostrils that inside the upper lip of your nostril, inside it about 1/8 of an inch, there are the chakras there where the Ida and Pingala terminates. So when you're doing breathing or you're doing pranayama, the Ida and the Pingala are stimulated. This is what happens when you get too hot, or then you plug the right nostril and you breathe in through the left, and vice versa if you're cold. Or you plug the left nostril and you breathe in through the right. So the scenario is those chakras under the upper lip of the nostril, those are fairly powerful chakras. And this is what will cause, often, your nostrils to extremely dilate. Okay? So once again, this is normal. Going back to the eyes, you'll understand that sometimes your physical eyes will be pulled up, all the way up, almost like they want to go into your brain, falling into your brain. Let that occur. Except, not while you're driving. But let that occur if you're seated and you're in a safe place and you're meditating, whatever. The eyes will want to go up. And I want you to really surrender to that. Let them go up. Let them go up. Don't worry about it. It's natural. The Kundalini is pulling them up, okay? Pulling them up to the brow points. Now, you may experience posture changes and skeletal realignments. Your postures may become more yoga-oriented. And because your new postures are coming into you, your skeletal system will begin to realign. You may feel, as you have the Kriyas at night or anything like that, you may feel your bones kind of moving of their own. Well, they're not moving of their own. They're moving because the Kundalini is moving them. Sometimes you may feel some sharp pains where your joints are as the Kundalini moves through these areas. There's corrections being made. And as you do not resist, it will go easy. If you do resist, it can be hurtful. I just want you to know it can be hurtful. Let me give you an example of this. The wrists. The wrists or the elbow or the shoulder. If you're used to tying your shoes a certain way, and the Kundalini comes into you, and all of a sudden, you cannot tie your shoes the same way that you have done before, since you learned how to tie your shoes. You have to learn a new way to tie the shoes, and this is very important for you to learn this new way, because if you don't, any other way, the way that you've used to have done it, will cause you pain. And so you learn through this avoidance of pain how to tie your shoes a different way, and then the Kundalini will finish the alteration of that part of your body, and then you can go back to doing it the old way if you wish, or continuing with the new way if you wish. But this will go throughout the skeletal realignment. So just be aware of this. Just because you're feeling pain doesn't mean anything is wrong. It just means sometimes that you have to do things a little bit differently. Remember that you have Kundalini. Remember that. You have Kundalini, and Kundalini changes everything. It will change your posture. It will change your skeletal alignment. It will change your joints. It will change the amount of synovial fluid that's going in to lubricate your joints. It will change all of it. Okay? So understand that and realize that and go with that flow. Go with the flow. Don't go into pain over it. Cranial plate migration can occur. So your skull is made up of different cranial plates. And they're joined by ligatures, or these little lines of joining that you see on a skull. If you look at a skull, you'll see the different cranial plates, and they're joined by these ligatures, and these ligatures are where the plates meet, and the little lines of demarcation that you'll see on top of a skull and on the sides of the skull. And Kundalini will change that. It will begin to reshape the top of your head. You can feel this sometimes. Don't worry about it. It's natural. It's okay. Kundalini is refocusing the top of your head to support the flow that is a part of it and coming out and through it. It'll typically reshape it around the fontanelle. So don't be surprised if you feel the top of your head kind of moving, or if you notice it moving after a while. You feel the top of your head, you brush your hair, you wash your hair, you feel your head, every day. And you may feel things starting to be a little different then. Don't be surprised. Don't be afraid. Nothing is wrong. Okay? Cranial plate migration will occur. And it's not the end-all, be-all either. Just because you have the cranial plate migration doesn't mean that you're done with the deal. It just means that it's part of the equation. Doesn't mean that you're getting smarter either. The bone structure of your cranium doesn't really mitigate intelligence. That's the mental body. The mental body will do that, and yes, the Kundalini will make you smarter in that sense. So the cranial plate migration can occur. It doesn't occur for everybody, but it occurs for enough people that I felt it important to mention. All the ring muscle groups can experience hyperdilation. Everything from your rectum to the mouth, the nose, the eyes, the ears, the nipples, everything, even the inguinal muscles, the ring muscles of the organs of generation, reproductive organs. All of these will have periods of hyperdilation. It's nothing to be shocked over. It's just part of the process. And these are, once these, the ring muscle phenomena, except for the nostrils, it tends to be over fairly quick. It's not long lasting. So it's one of the quicker phenomena that will come and go. All of these phenomena will come and go. They are transient. They will not stay. Some of the kriyas will stay, like the electrical kriyas, or for people who are prone to have the electrical kriyas. My electrical kriyas went fairly quickly. I mean, they stayed long enough for me to feel them and have an intimate relation with them. But some people they're there for years and years and years, and they have kind of like a sine wave of peaks and valleys. So, but most of these phenomena I'm telling you about will have a starting point and an ending point. Your perceptual acuteness in all the areas of your perception will merge with the new divine knowledge. This is a level of knowingness. And I mentioned it a little bit when I talked about the mental body, where you'll know things that you haven't studied. You'll know about subjects that you have no business knowing about those subjects, but you'll know them nonetheless. And this is part of the divine knowing, the knowingness of the divine. And Kundalini is of a divine source. And so you will begin to partake of teachings and understandings that surpass your studies, that surpass your life experience. And, it's a real blessing. It's a real blessing. And you just, depending on how broad your psychology has become at the time that you experience it, not always would it be considered from our ego understandings a blessing. Knowing that there's going to be a huge accident or an air accident, or a friend is going to pass because of a certain thing. It will expand it into precognitive channels of expression for some people, not for all people, but for some people. And in that sense, that's kind of a difficult blessing to have. But for the most part, the expanded level of knowingness, of divine knowledge, is an extreme blessing, and something that I will suggest that you embrace. Really embrace it. Really let it happen for you. Moving on with some of the obvious symptoms, your left big toe will turn black or blue for some of you, not all of you, but the sore big toe nail on your left big toe will turn black, and it almost like you hit it with a hammer or something like that, and It's natural. You haven't done anything to it. It is a sign or a signature of the sacred Kundalini as it begins its process on your body. So know that. Don't do anything with that. If you see it, just let it go. It'll pass. It'll pass. But this is one of the signatures of Kundalini on the body. So I did mention that you will be hyper-emotional. You'll have extreme joy. But with that, you'll have this extreme unity, which is joy and knowledge of your unified position within creation. You'll feel at one with God. I cannot explain to you the magnitude that statement represents. Easy words to say, but the experience itself is stupendous. It's fantastic. It's wondrous. It's amazing. It's being at one with divinity, and this has to be experienced. I can't really. Any of my explanations of it are pathetic in comparison to what it is. I'm just going to have to leave it at that because there's nothing words can say that will give it appropriate explanation for you. So you'll have God consciousness. Some people call it God consciousness, but for me, it's you are at one with God. You're at one with God. So know that, understand that, feel that. What you will also have is a continuous experience of love. You will love everything. You will fall in love with everything. That tree that we were looking at earlier, you're going to fall in love with that tree. The bugs, you'll fall in love with the bugs and the trash and the litter on the side of the road. You will fall in love with it. I remember, as I've said many times, and I apologize to you who've already heard it, I remember sitting in a hot car on a freeway in stop traffic, no air conditioner, looking out the open window at the oil spots on the side of the road and going, oh, God, those are such beautiful oil spots. There's such artwork. Such God is speaking to me through these oil spots on the road. So so just so you know that, this love is amazingly expansive. Amazingly expansive. And this level of love will happen for a while. And it's what will give you that continuous smile. I don't know if you've seen pictures of saints, and I know that some of my students have this already. They have a permanent, peaceful smile on their face all the time, except when their job doesn't let them have it. Some jobs you don't want to have that constant smile on your face because a smile communicates something that maybe is different than what you're hearing. I'm going to ask Centaura, are you still hearing me?
Yes, I'm still hearing you, Chrism.
Okay. Talking to this empty mic all day. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Centaura. All right. Okay. So, you'll have this amazing experience of love, and this will elevate. You'll be thinking, oh, my gosh, this love is amazing. And then you come into bliss. And bliss can't happen while you're driving. You don't want to have bliss while you're driving. Seriously. Pull over. You can't really do anything. You're not even really, you're there, but you're not there. Bliss and ecstasy are, they are part of the Kundalini experience, and they're blessedly, they are a recurring theme within the Kundalini experience. And yes, it feels really good, amazingly good. Like God consciousness, I can't really put a quality in words that will sufficiently describe what it's what happens with that. But you must, when you have the bliss, your tears will flow, and the bliss will ride the channels of joy and sadness that your body uses to relieve pressure, and those tear ducts are that mechanism that the body uses to relieve pressure, strong emotional pressure, and you will just, the tears will flow. And with ecstasy is even worse, in my opinion. If something so good could be called worse. Ecstasy is amazing, and with ecstasy, you just have to stop. You have to surrender completely. It will come on to you, and the bliss will come on to you, and you just have to stop and surrender. And with ecstasy, you may experience memory loss. Sometimes when I've been having a seminar, I will have bliss or ecstasy during the presentation of the seminar. And when I come back, and I literally mean that, when I come back, I sometimes don't know where I am or what I'm doing. And I have to ask somebody there, it's just like, what was I saying? And hopefully they'll tell me. It's like, oh, you were talking about such and such. So, yeah, the ecstasy and the bliss are extremely powerful, and these are direct, divine communications. And you shouldn't be surprised to find out that divinity communicates you through levels of extreme love. And once again, I cannot put words to it that will appropriately describe what happens, but it's really, really good. It feels really, really strong. You're pouring out tears the whole time. Your body is heaving, literally heaving. I don't know if you've seen little kids when they cry and their chests are just heaving with tears. Well, that's what's happening to you, except you're not crying through pain or sadness. You're crying through love and joy. So this is very important. I do want to mention the seminar. Santara.
Yes, Chrism. Oh, sorry.
I'm mentioning your name. So a gathering is being developed for Lake Tahoe on April 21st, Santara?
It's starting on Friday the 19th.
Starting on
Saturday
Friday the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And going through that weekend to the 21st of April 2013. This is in California, the Sierra Nevada of California. Very, very beautiful place. Very, very wonderful place for Kundalini. I want to invite everyone who is listening to this broadcast to try to make the arrangements to come. I would like you to email Santara at Kundalini Awakening Systems 111 at gmail.com or Kundalini Matters at gmail.com. That's one word, Kundalini Matters, Matters, at gmail.com as well. And or you can communicate with myself directly at the kfireforall@yahoo.com, and basically I will give it over to Santara because she's the point person on this. And I want to invite you all to come to this. I will be giving Shaktipat. I will be giving Diksha. I will be giving Ishta invitations. I will give you as much as I can possibly give in that tiny, tiny amount of time. I wish it could be 3 weeks, 3 months. But that could be really, really expensive. So you know, to keep the expense levels down, 3 days is what we're planning on. You will not need to bring your own food. The place has its own chef and all of that. And they have very nice accommodations, and you'll be with other Kundalini people, which which is such a rare and beautiful thing to experience anyway. Even if I'm not coming, the people that are there, the people that this kind of an event can attract are extremely beautiful, wonderful people to be around. And so I would really encourage you to come. And so once again, that is April 19th through the 21st, 2013. It will take place in the Lake Tahoe area on the west side of the lake. This is around beautiful, beautiful tall pine trees, and it's about a quarter mile from the lake. It's its own, I forget what it's called, but it's a beautiful place. Aaron Santara is in charge.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
sorry,
thank you.
Chrism.
I
keep thinking you're addressing me. Okay, I'm zipping it. Apologies.
So you can reach her at Kundalini Awakening Systems 111. That's the number 111 at gmail.com, or at Kundalini Matters, KundaliniMatters at gmail.com as well. So be advised of that. Let's see. I'm going to go with some more symptoms here. Sometimes of a visual experience is called the glistening, where a white frosting of light, or a silver gold glistening frosting of light will be over everything. Everything. The leaves, the trees, the gravel, the cars, everything will have this glistening of light over them. And once again, you're not going crazy. You're having visual experiences. You'll also have audio experiences where you'll hear things. You'll hear crickets. Sometimes you'll hear a million crickets, or you'll hear bees, the buzzing of bees. You'll hear all these things. You may even hear the birds that I have in the back. Can you hear them?
I can hear them. I was just thinking that's a little bit what it's like sometimes.
It's like I'm in the Amazon. I'm sitting you from the Amazon. So you'll hear many, many different things, including your name being called sometime. You may hear echoes, like if a car goes by, it'll go whoosh. You'll hear it go by, but for you it'll go whoosh. So you'll have an audio elongation of an audio event. So this is natural. Don't worry about it. You may have a desire to be naked in nature, and this is something that I've discussed before in some of my videos. Make sure that you have, if you have this desire, and it's natural, and it can be strong, very strong to be natural in nature. Make sure that you're not going to be observed by anyone. Okay, be alone. Women, be very careful with this. Men, be very careful with this too. But just make sure you're in a safe place and you're alone. Okay. You may feel like you have to fast. The Kundalini may force you to fast. Go with that. You may want to practice the safeties daily or yoga practices daily. Go with that. I'm having to speed it up here because I'm running out of time. You may feel like you're merging with everything. Surrender to that. Surrender into your enlightenment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an enlightenment format. Kundalini is all about bringing you into your level of enlightenment that you can have in a body, in this life, right now. It's a lifetime commitment, which is why Kundalini does not go away, ever. It does not go away, ever. And so I would like to thank you all for listening to this. Looks like I have a little less than a minute left. Thank you for dealing with our sound issues and all the animals here. Thank you for listening to them. Thank you, Aaron Santara, for making this occur. Thank you, everybody listening in the archive. and I wish you well. And I will be with you this time next week. And I will also be with Shandi Devi at the Karma Cafe at 1:30 next week as well, or at least within that level of time. We'll do this show, and then if you'd like to listen to Shandi Devi's program as well, we'll be on that show as well, talking about divine love and some other subjects. So thank you for listening, and talk with you again soon.